Suzy and Friends with Suzy Kato, Zealand's favourite kids podcast.
This is Suzy and Friends
with Suzy Kato.
Hello, my friend. I'm Suzy Kato.
And I'm Trevor. Welcome to the kids podcast for the whole whānau.
Suzy and Friends. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, first up, it's a brain teaser. It was sent in by Tyson in Whangarei. And here it is. Are you ready, Trevi?
Ready, Suzy?
The more you take, the more you leave behind.
The more you take, the more you leave behind. Oh, that's tricky.
What do you take?
You take a drink? You take a guess?
No.
You take a breath?
Getting warmer?
You take a walk.
So close.
But what are you leaving behind?
The more you take, the more you leave behind.
Footsteps?
Yes, footsteps.
Yes!
You take them and you leave them behind. Well done, Trevor. And well done you if you got today's brain teaser correct as well. It was a tough one. Hey, thanks, Tyson, for sending that one in. If you've got one, please send it to us. Email suzy@suzy.co.nz.
On Suzy and Friends in a podcast, Irene's back with a story, and today it's Tūtānekai and Hinemoa. We have fun facts about running, and young Miriam talks about the book The Story of Swoop by Kiwi author Matt Owen.
I'll have cool to kōrero, jokes from kids just like you, and Jake reads his story about fireworks. But first up, let's play What's That Sound? He aha te rā tangi.
Let's do it!
Just listen carefully to the sound and see if you can guess what it is. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go!
And here it comes again.
What's that sound? He aha te rā tangi. It's our game with no prize. Another chance to play along with the clue is coming soon. And at the end of Suzy and Friends, we'll give you the answer. Stick around to see if you're right.
Let's have a laugh, or three. Now, with today's triple treat of jokes, this week's three young comedians are Bella, Kyla and Tyler.
What did the girl octopus say to the boy octopus?
I don't know. What did the girl octopus say to the boy octopus?
I want to hold your hand, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Why did the horse cross the road?
Oh, I don't know. Why did the horse cross the road?
To get to its neighbours. Why did the mushroom leave the party?
Oh, I don't know. Why did the mushroom leave the party?
Because there wasn't mushroom.
There wasn't mushroom at all. Well done.
You're listening to Suzy and Friends with Suzy Kato.
Awesome jokes, Tamariki. Thanks so much, Bella, Kyla and Tyler.
This is Suzy and Friends in a podcast with Suzy Kato and Trevor. Hey, let's check out some random fun facts. Fun facts. Fun facts. Fun facts.
And today the fun facts are about running. Fun fact 1. You probably know running is the way people or animals travel quickly on their feet. But do you know the difference between walking and running? Well, when you walk and you take a step, both feet will touch the ground at the same time. But when you run, there's usually only one foot on the ground at a time, and often no feet are on the ground. Watch someone run and you'll see what I mean. Fun fact 2. There are different kinds of running, including jogging and sprinting. And there are lots of different kinds of running races, like short sprints where you run 100 metres, right up to cross-country running, and the big one, the marathon, That's running for 42 kilometres. Wow! It makes me puffed just thinking about it. Fun fact 3. The fastest runner in the world is Jamaican sprinter Usain Bolt. He's got the world record for running 100 metres in 9.5 seconds, and his maximum speed is 44 kilometres an hour. That is fast. And that's Fun Facts for today.
Hey, Suzy,
Yes, Trevor?
my barber won a running race recently,
Your barber? Really?
but he did cheat. He took a shortcut. Hey, thank you very much to Liam for sending that joke in.
Soon Miriam tells us about the book The Story of Swoop. But right now, Irene's back with another story.
Tūtānekai and Hinemoa. Once upon a time, way before your grandparents were born, there lived a very beautiful, kind Māori princess called Hinemoa, who was very good at sports, especially wakaama and swimming. Her whānau lived on the shores of Lake Rotorua at a place called Ōwhata, and her dad was a very important chief there. Everyone had heard of Hinemoa, and lots of chiefs came from all over the area asking her to marry them. But she said no to all of them. Her father and the tribal elders also started looking for a really cool husband for Hinemoa. They searched high and low for a kind, handsome young chief to be a good husband. But do you think they could find anyone? No, they couldn't. One day, a big hui, a big meeting, took place between the different tribes in the area, and after they'd discussed all their business, they had a big sports day competition. One of the families from another tribe who came for the day was a family of brothers. They lived in the middle of the lake on an island called Makoia Island, and the youngest brother, who was very handsome, came first in everything. His name was Tūtānekai, and Princess Hinemoa liked him straight away. And guess what? Tūtānekai liked her back. And guess what else? The oldest brothers were really jealous because Princess Hinemoa didn't even notice them. She only noticed their little brother, Tūtānekai. So after that day, every time there was a tribal meeting, Tūtānekai always came just so he could see Hinemoa, and they fell in love. But there was a big problem. Can you guess what it was? Well, because Hinemoa's dad was a very, very important chief and Hinemoa was a princess, her whānau would only let her marry someone important. But Tūtānekai wasn't important at all. He definitely wasn't a chief. He wasn't even the oldest in his family. He was just a nice, ordinary guy. So Hinemoa's father forbid her from seeing Tūtānekai anymore and told her she could never marry him because he was a nobody. Hinemoa was heartbroken, and so was Tūtānekai. He went back to his home on Makoia Island in the middle of Lake Rotorua feeling very sad, wondering how he would ever see his Hinemoa again. He was so sad that at night he would sit on his island under the stars and play music to Hinemoa on his ko'owo, his flute. She would listen, hearing Tūtānekai's beautiful music, and think how much she missed him as the sound travelled across the water. One night, Hinemoa thought, this is silly. I'm going to find a way to get to Tūtānekai's island. She crept out of her whare, her house, and tiptoed down to the sand at the lake water's edge. Hinemoa was a wakaama champion, so she looked around for a waka to paddle across the lake to Tūtānekai. But her father and the tribal elders had already dragged all the waka far up onto the sand away from the water, and they were too heavy for her to lift. Hinemoa sat down on the sand and started to cry. As she listened to the sound of Tūtānekai's flute drifting across the water, she thought, I know, I'm a good swimmer. I'll swim across the lake to the island. So she went and took 6 empty gourds used for holding water and tied them around her waist like a life jacket and started swimming. It was a long way and it was dark except for the stars and the moonlight, but she was guided by the sound of Tūtānekai's flute and swam closer and closer. Do you think she made it? Well, the water was freezing and Hinemoa started to get tired, but she kept listening for the sound of Tūtānekai's flute all the way to Makoia Island. Hinemoa was so cold when she got there. She went and lay in a nearby hot pool to warm up, and suddenly she heard a sound next to her. It was Tūtānekai's servant who had come to fetch his master a drink of water. Hinemoa hid in the pool and grabbed the water container out of the servant's hand and smashed it, so he had to go back and ask Tūtānekai for another one. She smashed the next water container too, so that Tūtānekai got mad and came down to the pool to see who was causing trouble so late at night. This time, Hinemoa came out of the water so Tūtānekai could see her, and he was so happy. He couldn't believe she had swum all the way across the lake to Makoia Island just to be with him. He put his cloak around her and asked her right there to be his wife, and she said yes, and stayed the night at his place. The next morning, Tūtānekai could see lots of waka coming towards his island. It was Hinemoa's tribe on their way to the island looking for her. He thought, oh no, I'm in trouble, because the chief and the elders didn't want Hinemoa to marry me. But Hinemoa's dad wasn't angry. He realised how much they loved each other, and he gave their marriage his blessing. The 2 tribes became the best of friends, declaring peace, and Tūtānekai and Hinemoa lived happily ever after.
This is Suzy and Friends.
With Suzy Kato.
That's Tūtānekai and Hinemoa, told by Irene Crawford-Kalliopa. Another story next week on Suzy and Friends.
Let's play the game that's world famous in New Zealand. What's that sound? He aha tērātangi. Listen up, here it comes.
What's that sound? And your clue is...
Is that a visitor? That's your clue. Is that a visitor?
Ooh, good clue, Trevor. Another chance to hear what's that sound at the end of Suzy and Friends. Now, here's Miriam talking about a book she read this week.
Hi, my name's Miriam, and today I'm going to be reviewing the book The Story of Swoop. It's by Matt Owens and it's illustrated by Emma Gustafson. It's about a magpie called Swoop who gets rescued by a firefighter called Matt. And then Swoop becomes his pet, and then Swoop finds his real family. It's a good book because it's about a bird, and it's got like really good illustrations, and it's a true story. Matt doesn't know how the cat's going to respond, but it turns out they become really good friends. The illustrations are really pretty, and lots of them look like they're like in New Zealand. It reminds me of all the magpies that like hang around my neighbour's house. They like to sit on their fence, and then sometimes my neighbour comes out and like feeds them, and then they fly off. In the back it's got a page, and Matt explains why he wrote this story. I think kids would really like this book because it's a true story. It's got really cool pictures, and it's got an animal in it. So that was my review of The Story of Swoop by Matt Owens and illustrated by Emma Gustafson. My name was Miriam. I hope you liked my review.
Ka pai tō mahi. Good job, Miriam. The story of Swoop. Now that sounds like a really good book. So Miriam liked it. Maybe you will too. Maybe you could look for it at your local library or your school library.
This is Suzy and Friends with Suzy Cato. That's me and Trevor. And right now it's cool to kōrero. And today we're learning to say let's go in te reo Māori. It's useful for when you're heading off to school or off to the beach, or you're ready to go and visit whānau or friends or lots of different times. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Let's go. Me haere. Have another listen. Me haere. Think you've got it? Right then, now try to say one word at a time after me. Me haere. Okay, now we'll put it together. I'll say it first and then you have a turn. Me haere. Again. Me haere. Let's go. Very good, tēnā pai.
And we'll have Cool Te Kōrero again in the next episode of Suzy and Friends. Hey, soon we'll have the answer to today's What's That Sound? But right now, Jake wants to read us the story that he wrote about some fireworks that his dad brought home and let off. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Jake, and this is my story about fireworks. Last night, my family set off fireworks in our back garden. They made awesome sounds like kaboom, pop, crackle, fizz. There were bright colours all around us. My sister and I took turns choosing the fireworks. I chose one called the Little Devil. When it started, all these tiny baby fireworks came shooting out. Then kaboom, a firework went flying into the sky. Bang, it exploded. Thousands of red sparks popped in the sky. I smell gunpowder and smoke.
Oh, fantastic story, Jake. I love the words you use to describe the fireworks. Fireworks can be so beautiful, can't they? But remember, they can also be dangerous too. So please remember, if you've got fireworks, only adults are allowed to let them off, okay? And it pays to stand a safe distance away and make sure pets are safe inside. We can explain to little ones about the big noises and the explosions, but pets don't really understand that. So we need to be superheroes for all the animals in our neighbourhood when it comes to letting off fireworks. We can do that, can't we? Let's think about all the animals.
Now it is your last chance to play our game with no prize. What's that sound? What's that sound?
Do you remember the clue we gave you? It was, is that a visitor? Let's have one last listen. Whakarongo. What's that sound? He aha tērā tangi. And the answer is, yes, a doorbell. Great work if you got it right. And we'll have another chance for you to play What's That Sound next time on Suzy and Friends.
Okay, time to finish up now, so thank you to our joke tellers, Bella, Kyla and Tyler.
Thanks Irene Crawford-Kalliopa for the story Tūtānekai and Hinemoa.
Tyson, thank you for the brain teaser about the footsteps.
And Miriam, thank you for telling us about the book The Story of Swoop. Thanks Jake for reading your fireworks story. And thank you New Zealand On Air. Kia ora RNZ, especially Brianna, Jamie, Steve, Tim and Tim, Phil, Nicholas and Duncan. And a humongous thanks to you for spending time with us.
If you have a brain teaser or a joke that you'd like to share with us on Suzy and Friends in a podcast, please email suzy@suzy.co.nz and our website suzy.co.nz. suzy.co.nz.
Young Gracie is writing a story right now about horses, and she'll read that to you next time on Suzy and Friends. Also next time, Austin reads a book about a special native insect from Aotearoa. And Mighty Maui works out daylight saving.
Ka kite!
Goodbye, my friend. Ka kite.
This is Suzy and Friends.
With Suzy Cato.